If I'm being honest here, I've been overthinking this video and not really wanting to press the play button on this one or the record button on this one because I just have been overthinking it and not really knowing what I wanted to say and not really understanding really where I was going to go with this whole video in the first place. But I feel like there's something that I owe you guys. Not that I owe you an explanation, but also more so that I just want to be transparent. I want to keep you guys in the loop. I want to keep you guys informed because you guys are just as important to this channel as I am at times. Obviously, I'm doing all the back end work and doing all the stuff, but you guys are the community that helped this thing grow. So I want to give you guys a little bit of an explanation. And real quick, just going into this, we've been doing YouTube now for about 150 weeks. I think right now on my content calendar, we're at 150 weeks, 151 weeks, something like that. Basically a long time. This is our third season in the books now with the 2025 fantasy season all the way finished, fantasy playoffs out of the way. It's been 3 years for me. So a long time, a lot of videos in here as well. I mean, I look over on the channel at how many videos we've done in that period of time. It has been almost 800 videos now on the channel, some of those being live streams, shorts, Dynasty, redraft, all of that stuff. But overall, it's a lot of time that we've invested into growing this channel, and it's something that I'm definitely still proud of to this day, just spending the time growing this, and that's still the goal here. However, when I made this channel, I was looking at something that was an outlet for me to talk fantasy football. I wanted to talk about everything under the sun. I wanted to talk about redraft, best ball, dynasty, all of those things. And I'm very grateful for the audience that we've built here that has followed me along any of those steps of the journey, whether that be somebody here who's watching for the best ball streams on Underdog, or somebody who's over here watching for the redraft content or the dynasty stuff, the dynasty trade shows that we do with MFGDs. I think all of those things are pieces in which I just wanted to talk about fantasy football. Now, somewhere along the way, it became something that I was doing as a hobby that started turning into something that could actually become a job, something I could do full-time, something that I could make money doing because I enjoyed talking about it, but I was getting enough traction and I had enough opportunities kind of come my way with other companies in the space where this was something that looked like I could make full-time. And I decided to do that. And I think with that, I found myself spread a little bit thin, trying to satisfy plenty of audiences of all these different niches that are all inside of the same niche. And I think right now, the way that I've felt this year, a little bit of burnout when it comes to making some of the content, specifically some of the redraft content, and also some of the people who've been close to me know that I've kind of been debating this decision for 1.5 years now anyways, because when you look at the analytics and you look at some of the stuff behind the scenes as far as numbers and watch time and subscriber counts and things like that, and where those are coming from based on the content that hits the channel, I feel like a lot of our audience here, and rightfully so, is invested more into the dynasty fantasy football space. Now, for me, that is a side of the fantasy niche that I am the most passionate about. I've said it on this channel at multiple times where I enjoy the dynasty stuff more. I like talking about the different, trade markets that show up and show themselves every single year within side of that dynasty ecosystem. And I love talking about player analysis, and I love talking about all of the things that come with dynasty fantasy football. And even in my own fantasy football leagues, I have now got to a point where I'm only playing in one redraft league every year. It's my oldest league, my first league that I was ever in. That'll be the OG league. I probably will never stop playing that redraft league, but I only play in one. Everything else that I play in is dynasty, and that's kind of where my passion is these days, with talking about fantasy football, playing fantasy football, all of that stuff. So, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit here, where I kind of want to talk about the direction of this channel. And I think I'm coming to the main decision here that I am going to be moving forward with the League FFB being solely focused on dynasty fantasy football only. So, that being said, this is a decision that has been a tough one for me for, like I said, a while now. I kind of debated it coming into the season. Should I do redraft content? Should I not do redraft content? We were kind of already close to the year, so I decided to push through, give it another shot, see what happens, see how I felt at the end of the year. And by mid-season, those feelings kind of still remain the same of, I don't enjoy it as much. And it's not to isolate anybody out of here, because I think we do have a decent audience here that watches for the redraft content and maybe for the redraft content only. But I think that there's still going to be plenty for people to find here. Throughout the year, you know, we're still going to be able to do things like rankings videos. We're still going to be able to do things like prospect analysis, trade shows, Q&As, where you guys are going to be able to come in every week and ask me those questions that you have, no matter the league that you're in. Still kind of interact with each other and have that fun community feel that we've had over the last little while. Nothing like that is going to change. I think it's just more so we're going to see a little bit of a bigger shift in season moving forward, where we're focused more on Dynasty content and less on the redraft week by week stuff. So things like waivers, you know, aren't going to be as shallow. We're not going to be talking about picking up guys like Jaden Reed off of waivers. We're going to be talking about picking up guys like Audric Estime off of waivers when he kind of shows that he's going to have a role in a weekly offense or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a little bit deeper there for that type of stuff. So I guess really I felt like I owed you guys an explanation. Not that I owe anybody anything, because at the end of the day, you know, this is my work. This is what I put my time into. But like I said, you guys have been super supportive of this channel through and through for a long time now. And it feels like we're kind of going into a phase 2 of what the League FFB is going to be. And I'm very excited for it. I'm getting a change in my own personal life right now, where I'm moving across the country. I'm going to Texas at the end of this month. You guys are probably seeing this about the time that I'm packing up and getting in the car to go. So it's a very exciting time for me. We're going into the new year, and you know, with that, a lot of people always have their resolutions and things that they want to do. And for me, this is going to be kind of a big year for me. Personal changes, like I said, and also I see this as the next evolution of what the League FFB is going to be. So I'm very excited for that. I have a lot of stuff planned. I think really the main thing that I want to get across for you guys for the most part is this is not taking anything away from the channel. In fact, to me, this is going to be something that is adding to the channel, because instead of shallower, wider ranges of conversations that we're having on this channel, we can dive deeper. We can spend more time having long-term conversations, having conversations where we really get into the nitty-gritty and the details of players and situations and things like that that are actually going to help us even more in fantasy football. I think that type of stuff leads to a little bit more creativity and leads to an ecosystem for me as a creator where I can feel like I'm accomplishing more by doing less. And it's not that I'm actually going to be doing less on the channel. There's going to be the same amount of videos. There's going to be the same amount of content, all of that type of stuff. But it feels like my shift in focus is going to narrow into one single lane where I'm focused on Dynasty fantasy football and Dynasty only. And I think that's only going to make me better as a creator. That's only going to make me better as a fantasy player. That's only going to make me better in everything. So, you know, I'm very excited for that. Again, I didn't really know, you know, how to turn the camera on and talk about it, because it's been a debate, an internal struggle with myself over the last little while, because I'm not the type of person that ever quits or ever feels, you know, like I am giving up on something, and in a way this feels like I am, even though I know I'm not. I'm just shifting focus. I think I'm having that internal struggle, and I think that's where I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable, and maybe why I feel like I need to explain myself, maybe for lack of a better term. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I just wanted to say thank you guys. I want you guys to understand that moving forward, this is going to be the focus, or the focus is going to be on Dynasty fantasy football. And I'm curious, man, let me know in the comments, how long have you guys been around for the channel? What type of content do you guys watch on the channel? Do you only watch the redraft? Do you only watch the Dynasty? Do you watch all of it? Let me know what type of Dynasty content you do want to see moving forward. Like I said, I'm moving to Texas. I'm probably going to take about 2 to 3 weeks off here at the start of the year, but my goal is to be back mid-January with everything set up in my new office and my new setup, and have everything ready to go so I can start making content again, just so we can start looking at this rookie class and diving into that and seeing what we want to do for our Dynasty Fantasy Football rookie drafts and all of this stuff going into the season. It's going to be a lot of great content, a lot of fun stuff. I'm super excited for all of it, but I just need to get there and get things set up, so I need to give myself a couple of weeks to take a breather and enjoy, the process of starting a new chapter in my own personal life. So I think it all kind of coincides together with the timing of this announcement and this decision at the end of the fantasy football season to do this subtle change to the channel where we focus more on just one spot. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, man. What kind of Dynasty content do we want this spring, this summer? What kind of Dynasty content do you guys think would be beneficial now that we've just kind of gotten out of the regular season? Is there something that you guys can think back on and say, I wish somebody had made these types of videos during the season to help me with my Dynasty Fantasy Football team? Let me know your ideas in the comments down below. Let me know, if you're just rocking with me no matter what. I appreciate you guys nonetheless. I'm inviting every single one of you guys, redraft, best ball, Dynasty, anything. I'm inviting all of you guys to come with us in this next step in the journey. I know we have people in our community that are telling me already, hey, I'm going to start my Dynasty League this offseason. I'm going to play in my first Dynasty League. I want to try it out. Please stick around. We got plenty of content for you. Even if you have things in season that you liked, the Q&As and things like that, they're going nowhere. They're going to be here. Stick around. I invite you onto this next step of the journey, phase 2 of the League FFB. I want to see us grow very, very large, man, in this space. This is a passion of mine. I love, the idea of growing a business. I love the idea of creating content. This is kind of what I've always wanted to do. This is what I've been built for. So I'm excited for this next step. Thank you again for everybody. Hopefully your 2025 season went well. If not, we're going to get back into the lab here in just a couple of weeks and start getting you guys ready for 2026. But thank you all. Love you very much. Peace out.